Brothers has been trading in Merthyr Tydfil for 160 years, bringing sweets, confectionery, soft drinks and crisps to the people of South Wales and Merthyr. Come with us and we take a journey around the valleys and through the history of this firm, the family and the history of Merthyr Tydfil. Well, I first started coming to Weeks Brothers when I was a really little boy. We used to open on a Saturday morning in those days, and I used to accompany Dad coming down and running around the warehouse when I was a little baby or young man. Then when I was in my teens I used to start to work in the summer holidays, and I did that throughout my teenage years. And then I tried my O-levels and I knew I didn't do particularly well in them. So I had my usual summer job, and Dad said to me, you can stay for the summer holidays, but then you'll go out and get a real job. And that was 32 years ago, so I'm still here, and it's a long summer holiday.
Well, before I actually worked here, and Martin and I were going out together, I always worked in retail prior to working here, and I used to have a day off in the week, and Martin was started his business over in Blaenau, which his dad had sort of sent him off to do for a year. So I used to help him on my days off and evening. So I would say my courtship was all done in Weeks Brothers. And then in 1986, a full-time member of staff actually finished or retired. And so I helped a little bit more. And then my job actually finished. So I started working here part-time temporary in February of 1987. And I've been here ever since.
"150 years ago, Merthyr Tydfil looked very different. Business boomed and some people became very rich. Merthyr Tydfil was a frontier town. There were many opportunities for new businesses in the booming iron town. People were moving in from the whole of Wales and from further afield, Ireland, Spain, Italy and other European countries. George Young, Martin Weeks' great-great-grandfather, was born in London, and he moved first to Somerset to lodge with the Solomon family, and then on to Merthyr Tydfil via Swansea. Mr. Solomon died, and George married his widow Harriet. George was a confection and cheesemaker, and then took over the Solomons' business. George and Harriet had a daughter, Polly. On Christmas Day in 1882, Polly married John Weeks, who was a money lender and travelling salesman. However, the marriage would last less than a year when John was murdered on Aberdare Mountain, leaving behind his bride and newborn infant. The infant was William John Weeks. Polly quickly remarried to a John Shawcroft. William didn't see eye to eye with John Shawcroft, so he opened his own retail sweet shop at Donna Cottages, Georgetown, Merthyr Tydfil, and this is the site where Weeks Brothers stands today. As part of the business, he with his mother Polly manufactured sugar-boiled sweets. Polly would then wholesale the sweets to local retailers, carrying the boilings in cloth sacks and then weighing the quantity she was selling using portable scales around her neck. William John Weeks married Mary Jane, and together they had 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls, who all had a part in their time in the family business. For 20 years, Merthyr and the South Wales coalfield were very prosperous. There was work for everyone. People came in from the villages around Merthyr and spent freely. Weeks Brothers prospered. Then in the late 20s, Merthyr's fortune began to change. Then the Dowlers Steelworks itself closed, moving to Cardiff. Then the collieries and ironworks throughout the borough shut. Unemployment in Merthyr and Dowlers rose to over 80%. People were starving in Merthyr Tydfil.
Pwy sy'n gyda ni fan hyn te?
Megan. Fion. Iawn.
Mae'n cymryd bod chi heb cael bwyd bore yma?
Na.
Byddwch chi'n licio...
Mae bach o bro a tymor bach o caws.
Dim ond tipyn bach o bar a tipyn bach o caws?
I cael...
Byddwch chi bwyd diwetha?
Ni'n cael ddŵr i cael...
Byddwch chi'n licio cael losin? Siwr byddwch chi'n hoffi cael un losin bach yr un? Dyma un i ti. Dyma un i ti. Dyma un i ti. Mae'n hwyl fawr te.
The 40s and 50s brought new industries to Merthyr to partially replace jobs lost in the coal and steel industry.
Okay, yeah, I've been with Weeks Brothers for about 10 years. Yeah, it's a local family-run business, and yeah, nice people to work for. Nice. Moment I come in, we load up our vans, all the vehicles, then we just leave the premises, and then we go out there delivering to local people in Merthyr, and carry on through the day until we finish. I think it's quite incredible for a family-run business going so long. Because they do employ local people from a local area, which provides jobs. So it's good, and it's nice that Martin, who is the 6th generation, I believe, to be handed over the business.
I was 29 when I actually started. Married to Martin when I was 27, and I was 29 then when I started in the business. It's not easy working for your husband, and I think early on we both sort of made a thing of work life and home life of being separate, and people don't believe us, but when we do go through the door, that's our home life, and we rarely talk about work unless it's a major problem is ongoing. But we're all working towards the same aim, and even though he is the boss in work, and I think I've always realised that he is the boss in work, we have our ups and downs, and I've resigned I don't know how many times, but at the end of the day it's for the business, and it's always been our top priority. So we've always had that sort of from the very beginning.
Well, I started working in the warehouse, and that included all glamorous jobs like sweeping up and unloading the goods from the lorries at the back door, and then assisting the pickers, and then picking orders yourself. And then if there was a driver off, after I passed my driving test, I used to go out delivering on the van. And then in 1982, my father bought a small business over in Blaenau, in one of the company valleys and the Gwent valleys. And it was a business that was quite a good business, but Mr. Nicklin, who owned it, was getting old. He was 82, and the business was run down to a certain degree. So I was put over there, I think, by my father to test me as a businessman. And fortunately, it was a success, despite we having the miners' strike as soon as I got over there, which was very testing. But it was a success, and we moved on from there.
Oh, you're on, we're very friendly, you know. Here we go, now I'm joking, yeah. not like that at all. We hate each other really. Number 2, Aberdeen.
Well, they're a family business, and they've been delivering to us for years. Same rep calling, he's well, we know on first name terms. It's just nice to have the same person come in and dealing with the same, a regular company, a local shop. I think it's excellent. I think it's very positive, Merthyr needs some positive input, and to have a family firm. Even as a child, I remember, Weeks Brothers in existence, and I mean, it's quite nice now being able to deal with them, on a regular basis. It's very good for the town. It's a positive, a good positive.
How are you?
Hi, thank you. How are you?
Nice weekend?
Yeah, you?
Yes, fine, thank you. Have a nice week.
Nice and sunny until today.
Yes, exactly. Good work.
It's nice to see, there's a lot of negative press at the moment, and a lot, there are lots of problems, and but it's lovely to see a family firm doing well, and especially in Merthyr town, it's excellent.
the biggest thing, it is a family-run business. So therefore, with the family-run business, I think you can have that personal and caring touch, which you don't get in a nationwide company. And I think the customers that ring us know they can speak to me or Martin at any time, and if they got problems that they sort it out fairly quickly. And also our staff at whatever level, if from the back door to our delivery staff to our representatives, I think there is a caring and a friendly side, which I think you only get within a family business. And we've moved with the times as well. We're old-fashioned on the outside, but I think inside we're up to date with technology, and we're able to compete in the marketplace as it is today.
Well, that's a funny word, routine, because I think every wholesaler would laugh at that, because you come to work in the morning with your plan of action for the day, and immediately within 5 minutes it's gone out through the window. The telephone rings, the staff start coming in, we have now emails to open and answer, and next thing, after meeting deadlines, answering those questions, replying to those emails, it's the evening and it's time to go home. Well, I think definitely it's hard work. It's a tough old business, and you've got to put the work in, the hard work and the dedication. And I also believe you've got to have a passion for the business. And I think one of the great things about us is we can adapt to the changing face of business. I think bigger businesses take longer to change to the challenges, and we as a smaller business and more hands-on as a family business can change practically immediately, and I think that has helped us survive after all these years.